So when we talk about the workplace, majorly I would start with, that like every house has walls. So an organization also has walls, which actually creates the structure. So the basics of a workplace to start with is four things. So different pillars. These are the four pillars of a workplace, which actually makes any organization, and it's required. Like no matter how it's small, like it is a small scale industry, medium scale industry, or MNC. These four things will always be present, no matter what. So one is the people, because without people, how would an organization will be formed? So they make up the internal social system, and as we know, it is a melting pot of diversity, because there will be different people with different talents, different backgrounds, and different perspectives. Not talking about caste, creed, culture here, completely different when we talk about a diversity with perspective to workplace diversity. Okay. While we go ahead with the session and I start with, I'm talking about the topic and completing bit by bit. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand or you can unmute yourself and ask me there and then. You do not have to wait for me to, reach the end. Wherever you find, okay, this is one thing which you would want me to explain it again, you can just say to me. Okay. You can put in the chat box, you can raise your hand, you can do things. So that's the first thing, the pillar, the people. The second is the structure. So if we really understand the structure, I would say, I hope everyone knows one name is very famous as Hitler. Is there anyone who haven't heard the name Hitler? I believe no one. Okay. So when we see the Hitler thing, the structure when Hitler was the boss, the leader, it was a pyramid. So he was the one who would rule, and everyone, following the hierarchy would have to follow the rules. And everyone would have their own authority and power depending on the hierarchy. That's how it forms. So depending on the structure you follow, you actually define the formal relationship, that how would people work with each other. So for example, if we see in a current scenario, it is a mixed culture, like mixed structure. Matrix is one of the structures which we call up. So we can say that it is not about leader being, showing authority. It is about leader giving the space to people who are working with them to actually enjoy and, include themselves while they're working. So having the creativity and inclusion included. With the structure, obviously you understand that how the work would be coordinated. Well, do I have the space? Do I have the autonomy to do my work, through my own ideas and benefits, or I actually do the work as been told? So this is the two things which, differentiate the structure. And with that, it create a good complex problems and solutions of how would you cooperate with the departments, how do you negotiate with the department and people, and how would you make sure that how do you work on decision making? If I see a very basic workplace, there will be four things which will be seen in all the organization. One is the HR, we also call it as a personal department. Second is our production. Third is our marketing. And the fourth is obviously the finance. These are the basic for an organization, no matter they are in any vertical or industry. Okay, so obviously when we talk about the structure, it talks about how would these four verticals cooperate, negotiate, and works on decision making with each other. Next comes our technology. So right now what we are connected to is a technology of Zoom and internet connection and our digital gadgets, right? So it provides the resources that how people work and how does it affect the tasks they perform. How many of you feel that our gadgets also have mood swings? How many of you face the mood swings with your gadgets?
100%.
Yes, I think my gadget usually does the mood swings almost every day, especially on the weekends. Like they tell me that, ma'am, Anukriti, you need to have a break, okay? Do not work. That's how they show up the mood swings. Yes, right. I hope it's not just Suraj. Everyone has faced its mood swings with the gadget and the internet connections.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So when we talk about as a workplace, the organizational behavior, another name when we are learning about workplace, it is their challenge to maintain the delicate balance between the technology and the social systems. Because if we just go back to the situation when COVID hit us in March 2020, there were so many people who had no idea how to take sessions online. They had a good struggle, and at that time organizational behaviors, trainings, and whether it be the schools, whether it be the college, universities, or when we talk about different corporate industries, they were all making sure that the employees are getting trained on to maintain the delicate balance that, okay, we are working from home, but this is how you'll be using technology. There is no IT support offline, it is all online. You need to give the remote source to them. They will check your desktop or laptop, and that's how they will make sure that everything is on the right space. That's OB's challenge, working on that. And then comes environment. So we have the fourth pillar, environment, which becomes both internal and external together.